We're back. More useless stuff to say. Hopefully it's not useless. Well, it probably will be, but, this is what we do. So, as I'm pondering things tonight, this morning, I'm just kind of thinking to myself of many different things. And one of the things coming to my mind is happiness, right? Happiness. What does it take to make someone happy? What does happiness look like? Does happiness look like something we have, something we hold on to, something that we've done, maybe for others, maybe for ourselves, family, friends? What brings someone happiness? I think it looks different for each one of us, right? Each one of us, we go on through life, we say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Whether it gets done or not, whether we achieve the goal of happiness, in fact, isn't it in our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence, in the pursuit of happiness? I believe it is. Now, I'm not a history scholar or a history buff, but I tend to think about these things as much, probably all of us do, right? What can we do to make ourselves happy? Maybe content would be the real goal, right? Can we truly make ourselves happy by what we do, by what we say, by how we live? What does this look like for each one of us? And I think no one can really answer the question to that, because we all can think of different things that we aspire to, that we want to do. And some of us don't even get that chance, really. We kind of get stuck in this daily thing, like tomorrow's going to come, right? Whether we like it or not, unless the end of the world happens, right? Russia, whoever, bombs us, or we bomb them, whatever happens, right? Tomorrow is going to come, so we got to prepare for the days to come. What those days will look like, I guess only the Lord knows. But on our pursuit of happiness, what does that look like for each one of us? I don't know. For me, I don't know. What does that look like, Having a successful marriage, having a successful job. I'm sure none of us, when we fill out those pieces of paper as children, we don't say, like, I want to live on the street. That's my goal, to live on the street. Some of us just end up there. I think the thing is, when you watch people in other countries, I don't know, like, I've watched a lot of Anthony Bourdain. I don't know if you guys know who he is. No Reservations. I believe he killed himself, or he died. I don't think he's here among us, so he found out what the afterlife is, whatever that is. And he went to all these different places. He had some of the best cuisine. And in some of the episodes, I saw that the best cuisine was actually in spots that was off of the highway, essentially, whether he would be in this country or a different country. The one episode really strikes my mind, and he went to this lady's house. It was a little hut, and he said it was some of the best food he's ever eaten. Just this little old lady just making food, and I don't know about you, but I know my grandma, when we went over there, like, I didn't really appreciate it as much as I should have, but looking back, I can say, man, that was some of the best food that I've ever had, So I don't know if it's because, your grandma made it and you have this, like, nostalgic feeling about it, if you've had the pleasure to know your grandparents, right? And the reason why I bring that up is because, was he happy? Like, the guy had it. Like, he had his own show. He was successful, right? But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he died. Like, he committed suicide. And I probably should have checked the facts first, But I know for a fact Robin Williams, right? Didn't he commit suicide? He had everything. Did he achieve that happiness? And when someone is happy, does that mean they're ready to take their life? I don't know if it does. I mean, I can't speak for those people, Whatever happened to them is what they felt they had to do, right? And I think in this day and age, like, this has affected a lot of us, right? This has affected a lot of us. This pursuit for happiness. And if it hasn't affected, like, you personally yet, or as far as, like, why people take their lives, or maybe they weren't happy, maybe they were happy, when they eventually did decide to take their life and finally felt like they had no other way out, right? I'm gonna pull the trigger, I'm gonna do whatever it is, take a bunch of drugs, I don't know. Like, for someone who has everything, because we don't know, like, we saw this persona, just like on the social media websites, right? We see this persona of people who seem to have it all, right? And we see this because, like, if you watch YouTube and you watch Rumble or whatever you watch, you'll see these influencers, right? These influencers that they had a following, they did, like, all these great things, they had these people that would listen to them, and they would just share their lives or share what they did. People loved it. They had these fancy things where they had these videos that were really intriguing and uplifting, or whatever it was, and they took their life. So whatever it was, they didn't find their happiness, I would assume. Like, I can't speak for them, I'm just thinking, right? That's all we can do, is really think about these things, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. Just thinking out loud on these particular events that happen throughout the course of my life, and when we look back in history, right, the course of their life. But it kind of seemed like that little old lady there that was making that food for Anthony Bourdain, she seemed happy, right? Like, she didn't have anything. There was no social status, and I can't really speak for her, I'm just looking for the 5 minutes that I saw her life, right? She lived 60 or 70 years prior to that, right? And who knows if she's alive now. But it kind of seemed, that she achieved that goal, maybe, of happiness. And it also makes me think of, like, when you watch, I don't know if you've ever, I watch a lot of videos, of course. We all do. We have this thing we call a phone, and we're all attached to it all the time. I mean, we go out in public and we see everyone's on it. They're looking down as they're going around, right? And maybe you're doing the same thing right now. I don't know, but she seemed like she was happy at the time. And that was the persona, or the thing, the captured moment of that time. And then it's all over, right? And then we're off to see what happens next, and I don't really want to get into beliefs or anything like that, because we all have our own beliefs, and I'm not trying to push my beliefs on you, and or maybe I should, I don't know, but these beliefs is what kind of drives us, I believe, right? Does anybody just want to be depressed all the time? Maybe there is a chemical imbalance, like they say. I don't know if I truly believe in that. I kind of take everything I see on this device, or any device, right? You got to take it with a grain of salt, right? You got to make your own conclusions. That's what we're all here to do. We don't want to just take someone's word for it. We want to, study it maybe, or just try to find all the evidence together and see from our own conclusions what we're to make of this reality, right? And I think that's what has to do with this happiness thing, right? How can we find it? Can we find it? Is it something that, like, it's close to us, but we can never grasp, you know? Huh. These are just some of the things I think about.